Hi everybody! Let's play Daggerfall! Very little thought went into this LP. User suggested that I play it, that I LP it on my channel, username Mr. Knight. As a joke, as it turned out, but I thought to myself, why not? I've been wanting to play this for a long time actually, it's been sitting on my computer for ages. Been meaning to play it because I'm a big fan of Morrowind. I loved that game. I loved losing myself in it, but most of you know how awesome of a game it is. And I've been meaning to play the game that led to it, The Elder Scrolls 2, Daggerfall, this one, for ages now. But I got it running on a program named Boxer, which is basically Mac's version of DOSBox. And yeah, so I downloaded it from the Bethesda homepage, where you can download it for free actually, but that's the basic version. It's buggy as hell and was near unplayable. I didn't play anything of it. I just went into the first room, didn't even get out of it because I just hated how buggy it was. But there's a lot of fixes available and I fixed it. Well, as much as can be fixed. It's an old game, so I'm going to bear with it. But yeah, here we are. I'm going to play this game. And to that purpose, let's start a new game. And I don't know anything about the game. I know I'm kind of having the vain hope that my knowledge of Morrowind will somewhat help me with this game, but I actually doubt it. I've heard that it's very, very cruel on first-time players, so prepare for failure in all regards. Nevertheless, I am going to play a character. I don't know how much role-playing can be put into this game, because I don't know much about the game. I don't know if it's comparable to Morrowind when it comes to role-playing. I don't know, so I chose to play a simple character, not Goofus this time. And let's see, where does he come from? He's kind of like, I wanted to play a goody two-shoes like character. The only thing that makes him somewhat special is that he's also really, really stupid. I'll get into that more while I'm actually creating the character. And my first thought was to make him an Imperial, but I can't do that. Clicking on it, I don't know if that's a bug, but I think somebody actually told me that you can't play an Imperial in this game, so that's good. I'm not going to play an elf or one of the animal beings, Khajiit or... what was the other guy's name? No, that's Khajiit. Argonians, that was the name. It wasn't the tip of my tongue. And yeah, so it's pretty much between Bretons, Redguard, or Nord. And it's going to be a knighty, paladin-y like character. Somebody who's really, really valiant and combat savvy, and somebody who's, well, out for honor and basically helping people, but in this case also somebody who really listens to authority. If, say, his king or religious leader were to tell him something, he'd do it without thinking about it, because he's not really capable of deep thought anyway. Bretons, not really, because they are too magey, so that's not going to be what my character's going to be like. Redguard or Nord. I think actually Nord. I never played a Nord, I think. Not even in Morrowind. Well, I think it's going to be Nord, yes. Nords hail from the province of Skyrim. You're part of a tall and fair-skinned people, strong, willful, and hardy. Owing to the climate of Skyrim, Nords are resistant to the coldest of temperatures and take little damage even from ice-based magical attacks. Nords are historically well suited to all arts of the warrior. Yes. He's going to be male. And I always liked character generation in the Elder Scrolls game as well, the two that I played, Morrowind and Oblivion. Although I didn't play much of Oblivion, I like Morrowind better. Nevertheless, I like the kind of character generation, and I think I'm not going to choose a class. I'm going to do this question answering, and I'm going to hope that if I answer those, how I imagine my character to be, that he's actually going to be kind of a warrior. There's lots of classes in this game. What I'm thinking is something along the lines of warrior, paladin, knight, if there are those characters. Something along those lines. Possibly barbarian, since he's a Nord. I can imagine that, a barbarian with like a strong sense of honor and authority and things like that. Possible. So let's do that. Your father sends you on a task which you loathe, cleaning the stables. On the way there, pitchfork in hand, you run into your friend from the homestead near your own. He offers to do it for you in return for a future favor of his choosing. Now, let's see. We can do it alone, we can accept the offer, or we can ask him to help us. I think this character is going to simply see it as his duty and see it as a question of integrity to actually do it by himself. So he's going to decline. Your mother asks you to help fix the stove. While you are working, a very hot pipe slips its moorings and falls towards her. Do you push your mother out of the way, grab the hot pipe and try to push it away, or position yourself between the pipe and your mother? I think, yeah, throwing himself between danger and what he's protecting, that's what the character would do. Entering town, you find that you are witness to a very well-dressed man running from a crowd. He screams to you for help. The crowd behind him seems very angry. Do you... Well, it's not his town, so he doesn't know what the crowd's like. Rushing to the man's aid, rushing to the town's aid, or standing aside and not letting him be his business. I think he's going to almost instinctively just help the man. If it would be an apparent thief, he would help the crowd, but in this case, I think he's going to help the man. You're hunting in the King's Hunt contest, in which the best hunter will win riches enough to live comfortably for the rest of his or her life. You track a white stag. Many of you had shot it earlier. You are alone as you examine the stag and recognize the arrow as one fired from your friend's bow. As you retrieve the arrow for closer examination, you hear your friends arrive. We can climb to have fired the arrow. We can show the others the arrow and proclaim the friend the archer of the day. Or we could suggest dividing the prize. Well, I think he's going to proclaim, since it's his friend. If it wasn't his friend, I think he'd suggest dividing the prize, but since it's his friend, he'd simply stand back and proclaim him the winner. One night, walking home, you're attacked by a young man you know from class. You defend yourself ably and knock him unconscious. While he is out, you... Let's see. You can tie him up and interrogate him later. And turn him into the arms master. Slit his throat or leave him with a visible scar. Yeah, I think... If it had been a stranger, he'd simply kill him, I guess, or turn him into the authorities. But in this case, he's going to tie him up and interrogate him and turn him into the authorities. You and your best friend buy your first daggers together, a matched pair. You loan him the amount since he doesn't have enough gold, and he agrees to pay you back later. After leaving the shop, you and he sit down to marvel at your new weapons. To your dismay, you notice that there is a small notch on the blade of the dagger you selected. Your friend asks you to please watch his weapon for him while he runs an errand. Do I wait for my friend's return, then point out the flaw in my dagger and return for the weapons shop to demand a refund. Switch the daggers because I assume that it's my right to have the better one, or switch it with his knowledge. Yeah, I think the most honest course of action. Just wait there and then demand a refund. While in town, the baker gives you a sweet roll. Delighted, you take it into an alley to enjoy, only to be intercepted by a gang of 3 other kids your age. The leader demands the sweet roll, or else he and his friends will beat you and take it. We can drop it and step on it, then get ready for the fight. We can comply, or act like we're giving him, throw it in the air and making a run for it. Or no, attacking him sneakily. No, we won't do that. He's going to simply make a stand. Your mother is terribly ill and you have been sent with a few gold pieces to buy some rare medicinal herbs for her. As you reach the door to the apothecary's, you realize that there is a hole in your purse and all the gold has fallen out. You can enter the store, tell the apothecary about it, and promise on your honor to pay him back. Attempt to steal the herbs, or run back and hoping that father will have more gold. Which will lead to us neither being in debt nor being a thief. A or C, I'm not sure. Okay, I don't think C because it involves too much thinking. He's actually thinking about the consequences here, while option A is simply going in there and mumbling something about his honor and things like that. That's more like him. You're told that a young man has been caught by the village guards and accused of murder. Apparently, his brother was killed by a group of 4 ruffians in a local tavern, and in his grief, the young man tracked each of them down and murdered them. Upon reflection, you believe that? The young man acted honorably. I can't see that. That's kind of... I think that word's supposed to be vigilante law. Which cannot be tolerated if there is to be peace, or his only mistake was getting caught. So not C. A or B? I think as much as he sees honor in what the guy did, I think the opinion of the court or authorities is more important to him, so B. You are at weapons practice. Your arms master is very old now, but takes his teaching very seriously. You have heard him say that it is all he has left in life. Today he has ceaselessly taunted you at every mistake. Finally he asks you to attack him with the same technique you just did, in an effort to show you the proper execution. Do you? Wait just a moment. I realized that my email software is still on, which leads to this doo-doo-doo noise. We don't need that. I am going to... Yeah, there we go. So, do I do the technique just fast enough so that he can block it? I think it's more important to allow the master to retain dignity. Attack him at full speed, knowing that you could probably score the hit and justifies unfair treatment, and so forth. Refuse and leave practice, unable to compromise your anger with his dignity. No, not C. I think A. The arms master is a person of authority, and I think that's what he would do, yes. And again... Nope, A. Barbarians! Alright. That's fitting, that's alright, since he's a Nord. Are warriors that hail from the harsh lands that fringe more civilized areas. They make excellent fighters, well suited to survival under the